Are we podcasting? No, I was joking. My 39th episode, ladies and gentlemen, whatever that means. Thank you again for everyone listening. I'm your host, Brady Matthews. This is my first, and I wanted to bring this guy in for so long, and I'm surprised it's took me 39 fucking episodes to get him in, but he's a busy fucking guy. You're always on the road. You're always doing cruise ships. You're always doing... you're everywhere. The very funny, the very talented, and lots of impressions, which I can't wait to fucking get into because I'm an impression guy too. Justin Rupple, thank you for doing this.
It's good to be here, buddy.
Thank you very much, and thank you, Alex, for that. I appreciate that.
That was a long. He's like, yeah, that was long.
That's about the one whistle I get when I get on stage.
We got a long history together. That's it's every time.
Listen to that voice, by the way. How do you not do? I mean, you must do a lot of voiceover stuff.
I do a little, not as much.
What do you mean a little?
I do a few. Not as much as some of the great ones out there. There's a lot of really great working voiceover artists.
Because like I watch a lot of Curse of Oak Island and bullshit like that. You ever heard of it? Or it's like, have you heard of it, Alex? It's trash. It's trash. Well, it's been on for 17 seasons and they haven't found shit. Nothing. I watch every single one.
Once you read about Oak Island, you have to watch the show.
Right.
Yeah, because
it's interesting.
The statistical data says that, hey, this big treasure trove of
gold. So you know about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
There's this thing in Nova Scotia where they buried this treasure and no one can seem to find it. I guess Eisenhower's tried to find it.
Yeah.
Like some big time.
It's been a big money pit.
Yeah, but also like supposedly the Ark of the Covenant's supposed to be down there.
Yeah.
But the only reason why I'm saying that, fuck that whole story. The guy's voice is on every fucking show, dude. Finding Bigfoot, finding Curse of Oak Island, finding fucking. No one can find even Nazis' money.
Yeah.
No one can find anything. But that guy's voice is that voice right there. Where he's like, "We're coming down to the final wire," and you're like, "You haven't found shit, bro." But this guy's the best job on the planet.
On Into Oak Island.
I would watch that right away. That voice is fantastic.
I love it, man. Thank you. We do impressions, and when you grew up watching television and you didn't like your voice, because I had a really high tinny voice, I sounded like a girl.
Did you really?
Until I was 14.
You used to smoke a lot of cigarettes, though. That's what, right?
No, back in the day. It was just that I didn't hit puberty till I was 15. So I was like 4'9". So like
really
so 0 to 15, I hated my voice. So I wanted to do anybody else's voice,
right? Anybody
else, and so I'd watch TV and just emulate it back, trying to sound deeper. And then one day at 15, it just hit the basement.
And you, oh really? And then it just boomed out.
From that day, it was low.
Your nuts just dropped.
Yeah, they dropped, but it was like I had been hitting with one of those heavy weights on a bat, and all of a sudden the bat got light, and I'm like, oh, now I've got range. So I was like, now I know how to manipulate my voice, but it's deep, so now I can go higher or lower,
right? Because
I hated it, but now I was like, oh, okay, I get it now.
Yeah,
I sound like my dad, though.
Do you really?
Oh God, he's so much like him.
He's got that deep voice too.
He sounds like me, except he plugs he has a more nasally nose. So it's like he sounds like this, so he sounds a little bit more. Come on, Justin. Really?
Oh yeah.
Really?
So he kind of keeps it up. It up a little bit.
He keeps it back in the top of his throat, and that's how he sounds.
Did you ever go to school for like sports broadcasting?
Yeah,
because that's what I wanted to do.
That's what I wanted to do. Yeah.
Fuck.
Where did you go to school?
Columbia College in Chicago.
Yeah. I went to Washington State University.
Right. You're a Seattle guy, Washington guy. Yeah.
Yeah. And I tried to do this, but I try. There's so much. People have
talk about competition,
bro.
Yeah.
The people have so much more knowledge about sports, and I got in there. I'm like, well, I sound like this, and then this guy rattles off all these statistics. I'm like, well, I know nothing.
Yeah.
I'm going to default to this guy.
Let's talk about the Sonics. Oh, they're not a team in Seattle anymore. Yeah. Does that hurt still?
It still hurts, man.
It stings.
Well, I don't watch the NBA because of that.
Yeah.
If you don't have a horse in the race at all.
I know.
Like, you got the Cubbies,
Come on. They haven't been in the race in 118 years. Finally, they won in 2016.
But you have a team.
When was the last time the Mariners won it? Do you know?
They've never been.
They've never been to the World Series?
Never been.
Wait, so I thought the Cubs were the only team that had won a World Series.
Well, here's the thing. There was only 2 teams left that had never even been. And then the Nationals won.
And now it's Seattle.
Seattle has never won a pennant. they have never been to a World Series.
That blows me away because you had Ken Griffey, you had that guy, the bald-headed white dude in right field who was great.
Jay Buhner. At one time, we had our lineup was
stacked.
Yeah,
Edgar Martinez,
Alex Rodriguez, Joey Cora, Ken Griffey Jr., Tino Martinez,
Jeez,
Randy Johnson.
You sound like the lineup guy. I mean, you should be the lineup guy.
I dude, that's what I. That's
good.
You remember the first ballpark you went to? The announcers I still remember how
coming out right now, Ryan Sandberg.
And you know exactly the way he said it. But you know the way he said it, though. Like, I know the way Ken Griffey said his name, or like the announcer at Seattle, Tim, I forgot his last name, but the way he'd say it is, now batting, Ken Griffey Jr.
That gives me chills.
Yeah,
that's
like, and then
great.
In Hip Hop Hooray would come on the whole stadium and do this, and then we'd lose. You know, like he'd hit 4 home runs and we'd lose.
Right,
you know?
and you're like, that was a good game. Just once, I want them to win. It'd be nice to go to a game where they win.
We had the best play-by-play announcer of all time in baseball.
Yeah,
like Harry Carey.
Oh yeah,
Harry Carey's the best
when he wasn't wasted. But yeah, pretty good. Yeah.
But so Dave Niehaus is a broadcaster, Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
But he had this way of announcing anything but the game.
Yeah.
Not anything about the players. It was about like the ambiance of the stadium because he felt that was beautiful because we sucked.
Yeah.
Like he'd be like,
and the stadium was not really that great.
No, but like when we got Safeco, finally he'd be like, wow, it's a beautiful afternoon for a ball game. Why don't you come on out and join us in the stands? It's light 74 degrees with a westerly wind of 14 knots. Ball 2 on the outside corner. Mariners down 27-2. Parking's cheap.
Dude, it's the pause in the middle that it's crazy.
Because you just look back at the score and be like, food's great.
Right.
Food's
the
beautiful out there. When was the last time you had a good ballpark hot dog, long fly ball, 24-2? Just sad about the truth of our team.
That is so good. You've got to do that. You do that in your act.
I do it only for Seattle because they know know him. It was the sound of his voice was so like Southern and like Indiana, but we were just suck.
Yeah.
Suck.
But talk to me, okay, so about because I'm such a fan, and we did SNL together, which was cool. But when did you start doing impressions, or have you been doing impressions? Because I don't remember you doing a lot of impressions in your act when we went to the Seattle Comedy Competition 12 years ago.
So yeah, 12 years ago, I was, like when you start out, you're throwing anything at the wall.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, I've been only doing stand-up for 6 months.
Yeah, I had only been doing it for like 8 months or a year at that point.
Really?
No, yeah, it's about right.
Do you remember your first joke that you did out there?
That I did on the show, that I did on the competition?
Can you remember any of them?
Yeah, I think I opened up with my hairy jokes or Middle Eastern jokes. I'm like, I'd walk out and I'd go, so I'm Middle Eastern. Thanks for the support, because no one would clap for that, and then automatically they'd be like, okay, I do stuff about that. But what was a big part of my act was my guitar.
That's right.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
I used to play guitar and do like oh God, this is so hacky. Because I was just opening up,
sure,
right? And so I'd say I learned how to play the guitar. Don't learn your favorite song, because then you'll end up hating it. Because it takes you forever to learn it. You'll be frustrated by it. Now every time I hear the Counting Crows, it just sounds like Kermit the Frog's playing it.
Oh, that's great.
And then so I just do the Counting Crows, down in New Amsterdam.
That's great.
They fucking love it.
And people love that shit.
And then I did Tom Petty, and Jeff Dye had given me these remarks. He's like, all right, here's how to do the Tom Petty impression. He's like, set out in threes.
Right.
And then he's like,
he's great with that shit.
Yeah.
He's a phenomenal joke writer.
He
really is. People don't give him enough credit because he's too good looking.
Well, of course he's too good looking, but the structure, he's such a student of comedy that he went in and was like, look, you got the raw goods here.
Sure.
You're not arranging it right.
Sure.
And he told me how to do that. And then it was like, when I saw Tom Petty live, it was a little different because he was, and I was insinuating he was high, and then I'd start the whole bit just him blacked out, and then coming to and great. Forgetting the lyrics.
That's good.
And then at the end he's like, and then have everybody go, everybody sing it.
Yeah,
because he forgot it, and it was all Jeff, and because of that, like I started.
See, that's
winning.
good because you have a lead up to it. Because it's such a good joke that sometimes if you get right to the joke, there's nothing else left in that piece.
That's your first instinct is to be like, I got something funny. Here's the funny thing. Or you tell your opinion off the top.
Yeah.
You know, like you bring up something, you're like, my opinion is I hate it. And you're like, well, now I know where you're going with.
Right. Totally.
Now you're just going to name off shit you hate.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
There was I did a bit of I did it with Mark Wahlberg bit long time ago.
Okay, so you're Mark Wahlberg, just to know.
Because yours is great too.
Well, that's when I saw him do Mark Wahlberg. Every impression comes with a key. Somebody did it first, right? And I've never been the first ever.
It's the name of the podcast. Is my first.
I know.
That's good. Good plug.
Well, here's the first. The first time I heard how to do Mark Wahlberg was from Brady.
Oh, really?
It was Brady's. It was like hitting people with a hammer when you would do it, and he would explain that he was out of breath.
And he's always out of breath. And what else did I say?
I can tell your bit. I can tell your bit.
Can you really? I can't remember it.
He was always out of breath and asking questions.
Oh yeah.
Like you see that happening, and you're like he was talking to plants, and you're saying something to the effect of,
"Why'd you stop the train?"
Hey, why'd you stop the train? Everybody?
Then he goes, "Because you lost contact." Because we lost contact. You lost contact? Yes, we lost contact.
Yeah, that's right.
You lost contact.
Repeated stuff. Yeah.
Yes, Mark.
So.
Fuck. Maybe that's where I got Kermit the Frog from. Isn't it funny because we sometimes grab stuff from each other without even knowing?
They come together. But yeah, it's with an impression. I don't think it's stealing. Because we're already doing an impression.
I mean, yes, anyone can basically do it if you just figure out the mechanics of it. It's like playing guitar.
I have some friends of mine who do impressions that they're like, don't tell people how to do an impression.
Why?
Because they're like, because it's a secret. I'm like, fuck that.
Do you know how hard it is, dude, to even do an impression, let alone be good at it?
I will teach everybody how to do any one of my impressions because it's like a 3 setup thing. It's like a magic trick.
See, here's the thing. When we're done with this, I have a rapid fire. I'm not even going to tell you who they are, but I think you can do it. But even if you can't do it,
I'll give it a shot. Yeah.
This is how good you are at impressions. Actually, I wanted to see if you could do. Can you do Mark Wahlberg trying to order through the drive-thru and his kids are being loud in the back?
Which drive-thru?
Do you pick Carl's Jr. because it gives you a fucking bad gas?
Hey, hold on a second. Hey, shut the fuck up back there. You know I fuck your mom, right? All right, hold on a second. All right, who's getting fries and who's getting tater tots? I don't want people to get tater tots, all right? I told you last time I got tater tots, they were soft. Soft tater tots is just potatoes. They're undercooked potatoes with some sort of cream on it. All right, hi. Anyway, so I want 2 number 3s. I swear to God, I'll turn this car around right now. I'll turn around. I won't make entourage too. I won't. I won't do it.
It's so good. Go get that's good. Can you? Who is? You did a movie with Liam Neeson called Operation Chromite. I googled you. I never Google anybody.
Thank you, buddy.
Because
it was a war movie.
Did you do your impression of him for him?
Yeah.
Did you really?
Oh yeah.
Can you give me a little piece of that?
So when I first met him, everybody from Korea, we were only 3 American type or English speaking actors over there.
Yeah.
So they were like, this is Justin. He does an impression of you, and he goes,
wait, North Korea or South Korea?
South Korea.
Oof.
Yeah.
You guys are really doing it.
Well, what was even worse is it was about the Korean War, and North Korea didn't want us to make this movie.
Oh, awesome.
At all.
Awesome.
So, like, I showed up, and everybody's already tense.
I was going to say.
And they're like, this is Justin. He does an impression of you. And before I spoke, Liam goes, stop right there. No, I hear you do an impression of me, and I don't want to hear it. Because this entire time, I have to do my American accent. And you do my Irish accent. And I need it to be American for the film. And I said...
Alex, how good is that? Is that fucking dead on?
Spot on.
I thought it was... I thought it was Liam fucking Neeson.
Well, it was great, because then I said...
If he doesn't do Taken 4, can you do Taken 4?
I said that was the... Everybody kept coming up to him. They're like, hey, are you going to do Taken 4? And I shit you not, his response was... What kind of horrible parent would I be if I had to do Taken 4? They've already taken her 3 times, for Christ's sake. I mean, Taken... The fuck would it be? Like, hello, who's this? We have your niece. Oh, for Christ's sake. My niece.
Yeah. We have your granddaughter. Fuck. Shit.
We have your former neighbor. I don't have time.
And what if they're like, we understand you have some specific skills. What else you got? He's like, shit.
I can't make creme brulee.
I can't fly a plane, but I will take one there.
Very non-specific skill.
You know what I love about Taken? You know what I love about Taken is he's on a plane. He's drinking like a drink.
Yeah.
To go get his daughter. Bro, I don't have enough time. If my daughter's taken, I can't teleport faster to get over there. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
He's sitting on the plane. He's listening to the thing, and he's going over it.
Very calm, yeah.
Yeah, very calm. Good luck. Good luck.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Good luck. Good luck. And he's he's the nicest guy in the world.
But how did you break down that impression? What
all
did
right,
you...
so first of all, like Irish and Scottish get really confusing.
Totally.
Right?
I can't even do British sometimes. Alex,
like-
can you do any impressions?
Not really. No, I can do accents, but no
Yeah,
impressions.
which accents do you do?
I've got a wonderful gay Southern man.
Oh, wonderful.
That's good.
Yeah, so it's
I like how he said gay Southern man and it kind of went into it already.
But it's
I
funny.
love we're doing
is that-
Irish and he's doing gay Southern man.
That's all I got. That's
Hey.
my best. It's actually my aunt talking about her dad.
Right, exactly.
I love that.
See, when you fall in love with someone's voice or you listen to them enough, you kind of you naturally pick it up. And I think like part of it's commitment. So that's the first part. You have to commit to whatever voice you're doing.
Sure.
Believe you're them.
Yeah.
The second part is figure out where they're from.
Yeah.
He's from, Ireland. So when I think Ireland, I think they're always going up in questions.
They are.
They are?
Yeah.
They're always going up on
They sure
questions.
are.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's always like they're going up.
The dogs are jumping off the bridges always.
Where are you going? I'll be fine. Even when it's they're saying a statement, it's always up, right? Where the Scottish, it's the reverse.
Yeah.
They go down.
Down.
They go down.
That's so true.
Specific. Yeah.
Look, where are you going? We're going downtown. We're going to have a great time. It's down, right?
That is so good.
So it's so I think when I do Gerard Butler,
Yeah.
it's Southern.
I forgot you do Gerard Butler.
Well, it's Scottish Liam Neeson.
Give me some.
Gerard Butler here. Look, welcome to Berk. This is good.
And then this is Gerard doing his American accent. This is Gerard doing American.
Look, sweetie, I've been here for a while.
That is I hear more of that than the
Yeah.
other one.
Yeah.
That's because that's what most people ask
Like
for.
his
They're
new movie where he
Mr. President,
yeah.
I will be here, and I will be here for you.
Isn't that funny? People actually believe it too. They're like, something's off, but it's Gerard
Yeah.
Butler, so we get it.
Well, that's the thing is that like people with accents, when they do an American accent, they sound so unique
Yeah.
that their voice is interesting to listen to. Like Hugh Laurie, like I don't have a Hugh Laurie yet, but his voice is so interesting to listen to when he does House because he's fighting off that British accent.
Totally.
And that's how I learned to do Dwayne Johnson as somebody finally cracked the code by telling me
You can do The Rock?
I'm his voice match for all his movies.
What?
For the last 3, yeah.
Okay, now I want some Rock, please.
So the way you did it, like somebody said, all right, so he had a stutter or a lisp or something to overcome and a Polynesian accent.
Right.
So those 3 things to overcome, if you're trying to overcome an accent, you over-enunciate.
Yeah.
So like James Earl Jones does that.
Totally.
Because he had a lisp and a stutter. Like he used to do
Did he
that.
really?
Yeah.
James Earl Jones?
Yeah,
you know
so-
who that is?
Yeah.
Darth Vader?
Oh, yeah.
So to get rid of it, he'd be like, "How now, brown cow?" So I'm like, listen here. He always over-enunciates.
Oh, wait. Is that the guy from, is that Lion King?
Yeah.
And Field of Dreams.
Mufasa,
Listen here. You can go in where the light touches, right? It is always over-enunciated.
And just
That's good.
So Dwayne had the same problem. So imagine a wrestler who had an over-enunciation problem. Watch his big mouth wrap around
Right. He's
words.
like, listen here.
Ha-ha! Hey, it's great to be here.
Oh, shit.
Wow. I mean, look at this guy. He's so great. I love every one of his voice. He's hilarious. He's been doing comedy forever.
That's so close to Obama.
Rupple, that
It
is
is.
insane.
It is. You want to know why?
Why?
Obama's fighting off an accent too.
What's it?
He's
Muslim. That's right.
Shut the podcast down. Everyone,
He's
get out of
fighting
here.
off. He's fighting off the Chicago accent so tough.
Chicago.
So like when he naturally speaks, he wants to be a little bit more swaying back and forth, and I'll go down and get some of that. But when he fights it off, he sounds more like Dwayne. Like
Enunciated.
Now, we have to figure out what's best for our country.
You see, even the hand motions.
He's trying.
It's hand, but I think that even like when you're trying to do an impression, whether it's the face
yeah.
or him, even Ryan Reynolds. The only way I could figure out Ryan Reynolds was him doing. He told me that, or I listened to one of the things he tried to do a lot of Jim Carrey.
that's exactly what I figured.
Where he's like, well,
yeah,
I guess we'll just have to put everything in bubble wrap.
Yep.
Right? You're like,
yep. That's the way I figured
so
out
Jim
to do.
Carrey.
Yeah, I heard him say Jim Carrey's his favorite actor, and then I realized that Ryan has an overbite. He's
Oh,
got
shit.
a big front teeth. So that was like the little thing I added to it was so like Jim Carrey would be like, I have a package for you, sir. I bet it was something nice, though.
Yeah.
Ryan would be like, I have a package for you, sir. I bet it was something nice, though.
That's great.
It's that he has an overbite, so everything sounds like he's got a little lisp in it. So he's like, well, what a beautiful podcast studio we have here.
Yeah.
Everybody's looking fantastic. Look at this.
Right. And
This is beautiful.
if you do that voice now, like even in an audition, they're probably like, you should see a voice coach. Do you know what I'm saying?
Dude.
They're like, why are you talking like that?
I watched Dead
Like,
Man on
SNL
Campus.
experiences.
Yep.
You do over 100 impressions, right? Which one are your favorites? Like if I did that in an audition, they would be like, what the fuck is your problem?
Go back and
But
watch
it's Ryan Reynolds.
Dead Man on Campus.
Yeah.
I just watched it again. Zach Morris, I can't remember his name now. Shoot,
Mark Paul Gosselaar.
Thank you. Mark Paul Gosselaar. Before Van Wilder ever happened, he was doing Van Wilder in that movie.
Was he really?
Oh, yeah. Like straight up, like the whole attitude. He had a shaker and a cocktail thing.
Right,
in
he
his
was the
place.
guy.
He was the guy.
Shirt open, always wearing a robe.
He'd already failed out 5 years in
Nice,
a row.
my man.
And his dad was rich and keeping him in campus. And it was the same
seems about right.
storyline. And he was doing that same Ryan Reynolds pitch. He'd be like, hey, what are you doing, bud? Where are we going?
Yeah.
Are you staying in? You going out? You know, like.
Are you going to stay in again because you're a big pussy and you can't handle all the fucking hot chicks out there? Fine, I'll take over.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly.
So wait, you also do every character in Family Guy. Listen to this shit.
I do a lot of. I can't. I'm not very good at doing Chris, who's done by.
Oh, is that this one, Chris?
Yeah.
Talks like that.
Yeah, I can't do that. Yeah, that's the guy I can't do. Like,
All right.
but I can do the rest of them pretty well.
I'll just come on stage when you need to do Chris.
Good.
Right.
You just
Can you do the dad?
Yep, Peter Griffin. Peter
Wow.
Griffin.
I feel like it-
Right here.
Yeah, sorry, keep going.
No. There's Peter Griffin and there's Ted, right?
Yeah, Ted's great.
So Peter Griffin's over to the side of his mouth. Yep, over here.
And then when he does Ted, he just moves to the front of his mouth.
What's up, everybody? I'm Ted.
Yeah.
It kind of sounds like American Dad too.
Yep, kind of sounds a lot like American Dad. And yep, that's Ted, and here's Peter Griffin.
That is so fucking
slightly
good.
different, right?
And then Patrick Warburton is Joe, so he's from Everything Ever, the most successful voice actor. You have to actually puff up your chest and close your eyes a little bit because it's impossible to do him otherwise.
It looks like the guy from Seinfeld.
It is the guy from Seinfeld.
That's him, isn't it?
That is him.
Wow.
That is him.
Look at me, dude. I'm a fucking
Most successful
goddamn
guy in
genius.
history. He just does this voice, and this is how he talks all the time.
Do you ever go into auditions and actually put a character on?
Yeah, I mean, well, sometimes they know me ahead of time.
Right.
They know they knew from first impressions, or
Right.
they knew from we all got buzz when you test for SNL.
Yeah.
For like 2 or 3 weeks, you can't shake a stick and not get something.
Oh, for sure. It was the best year of my life.
It was 100%. It was like up until that point, no one knew who the fuck you were, and
Still
all of a
don't,
sudden,
but it's great.
No, they still. Well,
Yeah.
your name's on the side of the fucking comedy store, man.
That's true. That's fine.
Come on, man.
That's fine. I,
mean,
get 2
that's-
spots a week. It's all right. I'll take it.
Bro,
you know?
I get no spots a week. So the point is, you get you get a boost of attention all of
Yeah.
a sudden, and it was critical. And so now that's some people know, like, you're the guy who does
The impression.
you do all the weird impressions. Do you do Cat Williams? Can you do the Cat Williams one? Which is always crazy.
But by the way, your Cat Williams is really fucking good.
That's because it comes from love, right? Like,
Can you do a little bit?
I can do it a little bit for you. I can always do Cat Williams. He's always right there. He is always right there. Should have never suggested it in the first place.
Dude, Alex, he was taking phones from people after his shows, and they would go, "Can you call my so and so?" And what did you do?
I would just do any. I have about 40 that I can switch into.
Like no
that
problem.
quick, right? But the rest of them, I actually have to hear it and kind of think about it for a second.
Yeah.
But if you ask for those 40, I can call somebody and stay in the character long enough to convince them,
Right.
Or at least get them to be like, "What's going on here?"
Yeah, well, who's
Wait,
Wait, we're at Justin Rupple's show. Is this Justin Rupple's? It's Justin Rupple.
I love doing
Justin Rupple's.
Do you know my favorite is doing the impressions of our friends?
Yeah.
Comics.
Yeah.
Like, I love doing impressions.
Can you do
of,
Sebastian?
of course. You do Sebastian too. You got to, right?
I find myself sometimes even doing him on stage.
You can't not.
Where I'm like, are you fucking kidding? And even I'm like, stop, dude. Get it out of there.
I walked into Ross.
He's one of
looks
the-
like downtown Beirut.
Beirut. He got all that from Dice Clay. You know that,
of
right?
course.
Well,
of course.
I see a lot of comics. I work in the sound booth at the Improv, and I see a ton of comics
sees it
who
all.
fall into him. They like he's one of the he's like the Attell of my time.
Totally.
You know,
he's the Italian.
Or like the Mitch Hedberg.
yeah.
He's the. I actually feel like he's this generation's Regan.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Because Regan,
Because he's pretty clean, too.
he's clean. He's
right?
clean-ish. He throws in an occasional f-bomb just to shock you.
Yeah, and you're like, whoa, this guy's edgy.
Like, salmon sucked. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, you're like, what?
Whoa!
Sebastian just said
Edgy.
Fuck, you know, like. But
and sells out Madison Square Garden.
But Regan was the guy that we all like.
Loved.
My age group, you know, like the older, we're in their late 30s. But that's who I started. That was the first bit I memorized, and I got to.
Which one? The UPS bit?
No, my first.
You know the
one-
bit, though, right?
Oh yeah.
You know the bit where he calls up UPS and they go, "Okay, sir, how much does the box weigh?" And he goes,
Oh, girth units.
yeah,
Yeah.
How much does the box weigh?" And he goes, "I don't even know."
Step on a scale.
Yes, he steps on the scale. He goes, "I can't read it."
I do him in my
can't
act
even do
now. I do him in my
do
act.
Brian Regan in your act?
Because I said
Now I need a piece.
I said every as human beings we have a collective voice.
Yeah.
So sometimes like if you see people talk to babies or animals, we all do the look at you.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
And if you don't, you're a serial killer.
Right, you're a serial killer.
Sure.
When you talk to a machine, Siri, Alexa, for some reason we're all Brian Regan.
Boop, boop. Hey, Alexa, would you put on Spotify for me, please? Would you? Hey, Amazon, would you order another pack of batteries for me? Could you make them AA batteries? I would like them to be AAA. I don't know why that is smaller than AA, because that is more A's.
You even got the eyebrows and the.
Dude.
I don't even know. He does this.
His dumb voice.
Tell me the exact moment point A is over point B.
Yeah, but his stuff is almost so clean now. His stuff is so clean. You're like, it's pretty fucking clean. It's almost too clean.
Here's the
I don't
thing.
think he says "damn" in his act.
No, he doesn't. And I love like when he gets right up to the edge. Like he had a political joke in his last act.
Yeah.
And it was so close. You're like, oh, but this is what I want. Like he got right up to the edge and he went, it's getting to the point politically where everybody feels like it's just kids fighting in the back of the car. You know what we need? A dad.
Yeah.
We need a good dad president. Like, I'm not happy. Hey, no one's happy. You want me to turn this country around? I'll do it. You guys better shut up or we're not going to prosperity. You know, just like,
That's great.
you know,
Rupple, that's fantastic.
Tell him to I did it for him, and I said like every time my wife is, I cook. She hates cooking. I cook.
That's great.
So while I'm in the kitchen,
Fucking come over to my house. I hate cooking.
dude. She puts on something on the television. And I quote Brian Regan from the other room. I'll say,
could you put on something appropriate for me?
Can you put on a murder mystery? How about a murder doc? That's all we watch. What do you guys watch a lot? Do you guys watch a lot of murder documentaries?
I watch whatever she watches till she falls asleep.
God, you're such a nice guy. Me, I will rip the controller out of your hands and be like, "You've been watching TV for 20 minutes. My time. Bulls game's on. Let's watch them lose."
I know she's gonna fall asleep, so I get the TV at like 8:30. So I know that she's gonna watch Beverly Hills Housewives.
Does she have her spot on the couch and you have your spot on the couch?
She's got the good spot.
Of course, they have the good spot.
She's got the lounge chair. She's got the lounge.
That's
spot.
that's what my girlfriend has. And then I got my feet on the sad ottoman like this.
I put my
and
feet
my
up
legs
on the
get
table.
numb.
Yep.
Yeah, my legs get numb. So then you got to go to the side, and then you got to go to the other side, and then it's time for bed.
Yeah, that's not.
Do you guys have animals?
We got two. We got Roz and Daphne.
What are what are those? Oh, you got
cats.
cats.
Yeah, cats. Two cats. I never liked cats, and then she had a cat when we got together, and I'm like, all right, I get it.
See, my girlfriend's so allergic to cats that she's very. Alex, you have
was
any
too.
dogs? You have any animals?
No, I live in my car.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Growing up, we had cats. I'm super allergic to animals.
So is my girl.
Growing up, we thought I had asthma. Turns out I'm just like, once I moved out of my parents' house when I was older, fine.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it's just because they're so like they're animals. They're
Yep.
dirty. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Well, it's dander and all that stuff. Like I had allergy shots for years as a kid, and I still have them.
Yeah.
But I love the cats.
yeah.
It's just like I'm going to be stuffy around them. It's
Yeah,
just
you're-
the way it is.
That's fine. It's fine. It's going to bed.
That's fine.
But
She'll
you
wake
can
up and-
also be allergic to like their saliva is part of it, and they lick everything. So it's like I feel like that's part. You know, part
When
of
cats lick your face, though, you're like, "Ew." Like it hurts.
Oh, I love it.
It hurts.
It's like getting an exfoliation.
Or do they still have their claws?
Oh yeah.
No,
I can't declaw.
I can't deal with that.
I
no, I
couldn't-
mean you can't
yeah,
declaw
yeah.
it, but I
No,
mean, like,
it's-
what do you do when they claw you? Go, get the fuck off me!
Well, we got a little
and then
shelter
stuck to your
cats.
shirt.
They don't do. very nice. They don't claw too much, and so that's good.
What's their names?
Roz and Daphne, after my favorite show, Frasier.
Love that.
Frasier's the best show.
Can you do a Frasier impression?
I can't.
What?
He's always a little theatrical, and
That's still pretty good.
It's as close as I can get. I've never.
Who's
done
your
it.
favorite impression to do? I mean, Liam Neeson's got to be your number one.
I love doing that because I did it for him.
Yeah.
You know, I really.
How many times can you say you've done that? You've done an impression for the guy you're doing a movie with. Did you, the whole time
Never.
you're doing the movie with him,
Okay.
you were like,
No.
were you hearing his accent the whole time?
Oh yeah,
Fuck, that's gonna be so hard.
I was his second in command, so like the whole movie, I'm standing next to him. So every single take, he would say the line, and it took every bit of me not to answer in his voice.
How are you on? How are you on set? Do you get nervous? Do you
Terrified?
Really?
Terrified. No audience, man.
I know.
There's no audience. Don't you get the same way?
Yeah, dude. When there's silence, I remember I played an attorney, and I had like 3 pages of dialogue.
Yeah.
And I get up there and I go, Your Honor, give me a second. I swear to God, I'm not even kidding. And I got so nervous. It was for Showtime. It was a Skinamax show. And I ended up fucking like my secretary on the table, and I was fucking girls in the jail. Like it wasn't like I was doing Shakespeare. It wasn't like it wasn't like it was for Scorsese.
Doesn't matter.
And I remember sitting down with the casting director. We're all eating lunch and stuff, and he goes, so he goes, Brady, what are some other things you do? I goes, I do art. I love to do art. And he goes, well, at least you have that. Yeah. And he goes, we'll see you guys. He goes, all right. He goes, lunch is done at 5. And I'm like, I'm done right now. So, dude, yeah, talk about acting is like,
It's scary.
fuck that shit.
On Operation Chromite, it was like a war film, and we were filming in Seoul in the middle of the winter.
Yeah.
And so
It's
was
freezing fucking cold.
-7 degrees, and then wind chill brought it down to -14.
Yeah.
So there was one scene where we're all walking onto the shore, and this battle had just happened. So there's hundreds of bodies, and we're in a outdoor like plane hangar, so it's like -2.
Yeah, it's freezing.
And we've got-
everyone's by the fucking heaters and things.
Yeah, except there's no heaters.
Oh,
so
great.
we've got like little heat packs sewn into our stuff, but
So North Korea.
this is North Korea, but yeah, exactly. But we're so there's like victims of the massacre laying on cold dirt with no clothes on, or like their shirts are ripped or whatever, like they're exposed because their wounds are showing.
These are extras. These are extras.
Yeah, extras. So
You didn't pay me enough money to do that
right,
shit.
and it's like an hour shoot because we have to get it. And as they're doing this, like I hadn't slept. It's tough. I'm over in Korea. I'm scared.
Well, yeah, jet lag and shit.
Jet lag and shit. And then they come around, and the effects guy starts taking red blood and just spattering people in the face with it, so it looks like a shot wound, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And as this is happening, like a part of me is like, you are, and they said it beforehand, like you are 2 miles from where this massacre happened. And these people represent 75,000 people who died
Wow.
in 7 hours.
What was-
And then they're splattering the paint, and I had a breakdown. Like
Did you really?
Yeah, I walked off, and I was like, I couldn't catch my breath. I was crying
Because it was almost too real.
It was very real.
Yeah.
And then these people are freezing their asses off as extras. Liam comes over, and he goes, this is a somber moment, but he goes, listen, when you get back to the States, you're going to take a few days because it's tough to see shit like this. It took me 6 months. It took me 6 months to get over, or at least get to the therapist after Schindler's List. I had such bad PTSD. It was so bad.
That is so good.
And I was like, Jesus.
You're like, can we hang out?
Yeah, that's
bro?
all I wanted to do.
I just want to show you off to my friends.
That's
Can you
all
come-
I
Does
wanted
he ever
to
come
do.
to your comedy shows?
No, he lives in New York. I
I don't give a fuck. You perform in New York. What's the worst gig you've ever had? What's the worst first gig you've ever had?
It's very hard. It's very hard to say because I used to have one, but now recently an unnamed college event,
Oh, it's the worst.
which are very
The worst.
tough.
The fuck. Nowadays, the worst because everyone's on their phones.
Yeah, everyone's on
The
their
name
phones.
of the event is college event. That's all
it.
you need.
Yeah.
college event.
If you ever get the chance, don't.
Yeah.
Pays good, though.
This particular one was in I
Kinda.
can't remember what state. And I showed up, and they had forgotten I was going to be there.
What?
They didn't any promotion. They didn't know I was going to be there.
Was this a community
That
college?
sounds like a dream college
so
event.
it's like a
No
state-
students.
Fine, pay me.
State, I don't remember, to be honest with you, because I'd done so many this last few years. And and the kid comes out and he's like, "Oh, you're in the wrong venue. We're over at this venue." And I was in like a little comedy club type venue. And I'm like, I'm excited for these because even if it's small,
Yeah, that's even better.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love little small places better than the big place and there's nobody.
And when you get to fill the whole room.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I go in and it's a cafeteria, which is already a nightmare.
Right.
And then it's like a little tabletop like this that I have to step up onto with an amplifier that's on the ground. And there's 9 people scattered in a 300-person auditorium.
Yeah.
And there are people walking the outside perimeter to get to the food at the very back to avoid the sound of my voice. And they're like, so we need you to do like an hour 15. I'm like, an hour 15?
How much time did you have?
I have in my bag of little tricks for this kind of stuff,
Sure.
I have about 3 hours.
Oh, wow.
But if you ask me to do an hour 15 with nobody paying attention,
What's the point?
how do you, I mean, now I'm
What
not,
are you, just background music now?
yeah, talking to yourself.
At some point, I would get tempted to just start saying shit that offends him just to see if ears
If anyone's
perked
paying
up.
attention,
Yeah.
totally.
Good luck.
Like, yeah, and fuck Hillary Clinton.
Dude.
A couple eyes look up and you're like, oh, you are listening.
Dude, I did a wedding and I had people. The buffet was behind me. And one guy goes, "What fish is this? What fish is this?"
To you?
I mean, I didn't know who it was to. He goes, "What fish is this?" And I go, "Bro, who gives a fuck what fish it is?" I go, "It's free fish. Sit your ass down." I get said, "Who has fish at a fucking wedding?" I go, "How much fucking time I got left? Get the fuck out of here." Comedy,
So
dude.
I had to go up and do
of
that
fish
an
is this?
hour and 15 minutes. And I remember a lot of it was the dialogue to myself.
Totally. Do you still bring out the guitar?
No, I don't. I don't want to travel with it.
Yeah.
I don't want to travel with it.
Pain in the ass.
But what I've figured out how to do for college shows like that, where they put you in a weird place, is I've gone the reverse. Like your instinct and my instinct would be to make fun of it and to tear it down. But instead, there'll be like 9 perimeter kids. And what I do at the top is encourage them to use their phones. I encourage them. I'm like, hey, hi. I give them my intro at the top. I'm like, I know you're on your phones. Why don't you look me up? Here's how to spell my name. Go and find me on IMDb, find me on Twitter, find me on Instagram. If you tweet me or Instagram me live during the show,
I'll pay $100.
I'll make fun of myself. I'll read your tweet in my voice, in whatever voice you want.
That's genius.
I tell them that since you're clearly not going to be the audience that's a comedy club audience, then steer into it.
and
Tell them to Google shit. Hey, can you Google?
Yeah. I've done it.
Yeah.
I've had little things where I'd said something. They're like, that can't be true. I'm like, let's Google it. Let's find out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then now I feel like it's now like you're kind of doing a TED talk a little bit. You're like, now you're there like your dad just showed up to the show.
Well, here's the thing. It is a TED talk, but it's
That's tough. Now you're working with a lot of different people, but you can handle it, not me.
Well, comedy is like it's like a tool belt. You know, like there's a Mitch Hedberg tool writing a one-liner. There's a late night writing set writing.
Yeah.
There's different types of maneuvers you have to pull for different places.
When do you like coming up with new material? How does that work? Or does it just come to you? Is it still fun for you? Does it still come to you? Does it still excite you?
Yeah.
Like I still put new bits in my phone, and I'm like, and I'll never do them. But do you still do that?
I have a few friends that are hard to nuts to crack.
Yeah.
And if I say something and it's off the cuff and it gets them to laugh, I'm like, there we go. Mm-hmm. And there's like 4 people, and I constantly talk to those people and kind of like feel like I'm in a boxing match with them.
Do you ever go on stage and do something like off the top of your head and then try to do it on the next show and it fucking bombs?
Yep.
Why
all
does
the
that
time.
happen? Alex, you do that?
Yep.
Do you think?
I think you're excited the first time because it starts going well and you're like, oh, this
is good.
This is cool. And then next time you go and you're like, yeah, remember this thing I haven't worked out yet? And that's what I like. I
think it's you're right. It's the commitment to it.
Yeah.
It's your belief in it, right? So like,
and it's like that magical little moment,
right?
It's like getting a hand job in a fucking hot tub.
There's
never really happens.
and that's the tough thing about your greatest
Weird
jokes.
analogy, but yeah. Sorry.
It never
No,
does
it's
happen.
just
by the
like
way. You
that.
always think it's going to.
just like that.
It is just like that's why you have to keep writing new material, because what happens is like we all have like 5 jokes that we know will boom every time. It'll work every time. But once you know that it'll work every time, Now you kind of go into this laissez-faire attitude, like, oh, fucking, I don't know, this is going to work.
You don't care.
You don't care, and you're throwing it away, and now they don't believe it. Now they feel like it's a joke and not an observation of your true passion. So you have to constantly keep finding the new things that get under your skin or motivate you to get it out on stage. And there's a wealth of shit to talk about right now.
Oh, for sure. But see, the thing is, like, you can't even go up and talk politics or any of that bullshit.
Oh, no.
Because no one wants to hear it, and also everyone thinks their opinion's better than yours, no matter what.
Well, also,
there's no good what is it, banter or having a conversation about it. People are just angry now.
You're
People are
right.
just angry.
They're angry, and a couple things have happened. Number one. We're so attached to an identity that when we fit into a group, if we divert from that group's opinion, even on one thing, then you're no longer part of that group.
Oh no, and you're blackballed from whatever they got going on.
Whatever that is thing. Like, let's say
because you did that.
Let's say you're a conservative and you're like, well, I think this little thing over here that they agree with. They're like, well, get the fuck out of our group.
Yeah. What the fuck are you?
Right now, you have to go full to this group, and if you're not full on this group, be like, but I also think maybe these people. No, you can't go back. So that's the problem.
It's the brainwashing of social media.
But isn't the funny thing that every single human being lies in that shade of gray? Everyone.
Absolutely.
For sure, but they're just too scared to say anything about it.
It's the men. There was Jackie Cation had that great bit where she was talking about the Armenian genocide. I'm Armenian, and she's like, yeah. So she said, the Turks lined us all up.
Are you Armenian too?
No. I was just
Turk. No,
he's a gay Southern.
I thought I was just hanging out with two white dudes.
Be surprised, bro.
So the genocide was horrific, but they lined up. There's a 20 or a 200. There was 200 people for every one guard.
Yeah,
and they lined us all up in the streets, the Armenians, and shot them all in the head.
Yep.
And she asked her grandmother, why didn't you all rush the person? Why didn't you just rush the one guy with the gun? And she said, because nobody wanted to be the first to die. We all died.
Jesus, I figure if I'm 10th in line, I'm going to be like, you know what? I'm going to give a shot at this guy.
Yeah.
You'd hope. But that's the issue.
We all think we're going to be the guy in the airplane that tackles the terrorist until
we all
there's
do.
a terrorist.
Yeah, until it happens, and then Mark Wahlberg would be there and he would take care
What's
of
going
it.
on here?
He's like,
I thought he took his knife.
Is that a box cutter?
This is totally crazy. I wasn't even prepared for this.
Alex is going to start doing Mark Wahlberg. He's like, what is that, a fucking box cutter? You going to cut me, huh?
Well, yeah, but then... See,
Is that a box cutter?
Oh, no.
Well, speaking of Armenian genocide, how was your... break down your SNL experience, because I always talk about mine and everyone's already fucking sick and tired of it. Like, who gives a shit? But I want to know yours because it's kind of a cool... It's
a
listen,
100%.
They don't give out trophies for going to do that, but I still have my set list that I framed and I put it on my wall.
I have the guest pass. I have the guest pass from that says...
oh, you do?
Yeah.
Oh, I should have kept that.
8H, it says on there.
Damn.
Justin Rupple, date pass, 8H.
Give me the breakdown of what your video is like, if you can.
Yep.
And then how you felt the night before, and then do your process into it.
The reason I got in was an incredible writer named Stephen Borzicello, who...
Great composer, too.
Yes, on the cello.
Like
on the violin, actually. Of course. You'd be surprised.
I walked into that.
He said, what you got to do is take all your voices, and we're going to do them just giving a monologue to the screen. But I'm going to cut them so that I cut halfway in between so that we can return back to them at several points.
Oh, that's great.
So you won't get too used to one, and it'll just keep going.
Yeah. So you can cut back to, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, yeah. So you can cut back to it, make callbacks to itself, so you can keep running jokes.
Yeah.
And then he's like, we'll take your original guys, we'll mix them in, and then we'll put classical music to it and make it just because I'm not a clever enough writer to do like what Santino and those guys did that were just off the wall great ideas. Yeah. I was like, I'm a voice guy. Let's give them voices.
Yeah.
And so I made them all just as like Pacino and Jeff Bridges and
you do Jeff Bridges?
That's probably one of my favorites.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you out. Can you give me a little Jeff Bridges?
So Jeff Bridges always sounds like he's got something in his mouth and he's chewing, but it's way too much. Oh. So
a lot of stuff happening. I've been there. We're in Los Angeles. And,
Oh my God, that's good.
Walter, fuck, man.
Oh.
I don't even know. It's a fucking conspiracy, man. She kidnapped herself, and Donnie, just stay out of it. If you don't, fuck.
Wow. Dude, wow. That is your bet. That is
one of my favorites. Yeah.
That is incredible.
I've watched
incredible.
that movie 1,000 times.
I would have booked you on SNL right off that, no problem. I know. You mean both.
Well, so to cut back.
That's incredible.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
And then who else did you do? Give me a list of the guys.
It was Pacino,
Bridges,
Vince Vaughn, Bridges.
Can you do Tom Hanks?
I can't do Tom Hanks.
See,
Can you do it?
No, Jonathan Kite can do it so
Yeah,
good, and I can't do it. I've tried. He's like, ha ha. I can't even do the laugh. Like, the laugh is so hard.
The closest I can get is when he does the speech in League of Their Own.
Yeah.
You cried? And we lost the game because of you.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, and like, ha ha.
Yeah, like see, the laugh is hard. He can do it. He's got that.
So
I think he's
Kite's
still
got a different sound to it, too. Like, your voice will manipulate over time.
Yeah.
Like I smoke a lot of weed. So
okay. So that helps.
Yeah, it does loosen up the vibration cords, and you can do smokers' voices then. So like Obama smoked, and Vince Vaughn smokes a lot.
Vince Vaughn's really hard.
Yeah. Well, Vince is like
I got booked on a show after SNL to come in and do Vince Vaughn. Couldn't do it. I even went up to set and I was like, "Can we do like a different character for this?" And they go, "It's Vince Vaughn reenactment." And I was like, I couldn't do it. It was awful.
Did you do it for your audition or why?
No, I don't even know. I don't even know. They must have gotten the wrong guy because that was not the guy.
So he's fast and from Chicago,
right? Of course.
So and I met Justin Long once, and he told me how to do the extra step, which is Vince had part of his thumb cut off in an automobile accident.
I've seen that. It's always so gross.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. It's his toe.
Yeah,
it's his toe on his left thumb.
Totally.
And because of that, he gestures to hide his thumb.
Yeah.
So he hits with his. He's like, so if you watch him do this, he's like, add that to your stuff, so you'll get him better.
Hey, I don't even know what's happening right now. All right, but I like this whole energy that you've got going on. I like this back and forth that we've got going on, and him in the corner, and the entire place going. It's very nice. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Is that sometimes you want to go out, sometimes you want to stay in, sometimes you want to get your dick wet. So put it in just for a second to see how it feels.
Gets to laugh.
Yeah,
I worked on it so hard, and then I did it to my girlfriend. I'm like, I was leaving like that day. I go, so what do you think? She goes, I'm flying to New York, and I'm still in my chair going, listen, baby girl, here's the thing. You like this? You don't like it? What do you want? I couldn't even do it. It was driving me nuts, dude. It was driving me nuts.
Well, the tough thing is, too, when your friends know you long enough, they know that every voice is really only one little switch.
Yeah, it's just a one little thing. But I actually had dialogue I had to do. He's like, what is this, a VHS tape? Or you don't want to put it on? Like, ha. You want to put it
The switch thing is interesting because when you were saying you couldn't do Chris and you attempted Chris, I heard Lois.
Right.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like for example, I fuck up my Harrison Ford all the time because it's American
Harrison
Liam
Ford's
Neeson.
tough too.
But it's American Liam Neeson.
Yeah.
So if you think about it for a second, and then Liam Neeson's down here, right?
God, that's so good.
Right, he's always down here.
Same good.
And then Harrison Ford is. Sorry, hold on. I got to think about it for a second.
Right. No, I've been there. That's great.
It's kind of that same
Yeah,
sound.
it's a little the same.
So you'd be like,
Get off my plane.
There you go.
That's good. Yeah.
Hey, Dad, would you mind? I know.
That's kind of.
Give me the gun.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's good.
It's their tiny little changes. Or I can't do Eugene Levy next to Jeff Goldblum.
You can do Jeff Goldblum?
Oh, it's one of my favorites.
Fuck, I don't know. I feel like I wasted so much time. You have so many impressions I want to do. Can you do just quick one, Jeff Goldblum?
Yeah, of course. It's bright lights in the studio and paper and blue tablecloth here. The essence of life is dripping from the walls. It's it coats me everywhere, and I'm excited
excited in more than one way.
That is, dude, that's so good. All right, who else can you do that people would never think of?
Let's see, the Eugene Levy one was fun because it's the same thing because Schitt's Creek is so big right now.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah, David. I used to masturbate back in the day. We used to call it pounding the old pud. You know,
so yeah, those are the
pound the old pudding.
Pound the old pudding. Yeah.
All right, so give me because I want quick SNL story. We got 10 minutes left.
Here's the SNL story. So
so you did that.
So I did that. We had the LA one.
Yep.
You had the LA test.
At iOS. Yep.
Yep. At iOS, I went up there and I just did the same thing.
Same here.
And thank God it worked. But it was better because there's an audience.
I feel like we had similar kind of tapes in a way because I just did guys doing their impressions or doing a commercial for bubble wrap.
Your bubble wrap one was so good though. It was such a great idea because it was textual. Yeah, it was something there. You could keep the through line for it.
Totally.
And when I saw Brady on, I was like, fuck, there's another impressionist. And Frank Garcia as well. He does the quintessential Ron Swanson.
Yeah.
Like my Ron Swanson is his Ron Swanson. So I can't. So
who's Ron Swanson?
Ron Swanson's from Parks and Recreation.
Parks and Rec.
That guy with
Nick Offerman.
Yeah,
Nick Offerman, right. But he figured out the code on that one, you know, so I'm like, I'm scratching off guys I can't do because you guys are here.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, well, I'm not doing Wahlberg.
Yeah.
I'm not doing this shit.
Did you watch anybody's auditions? I didn't watch anyone's. I swear to God, I went and did my thing and I was like, no one's going to beat me. Yep. See you later.
No, I didn't. I thought I don't want to see if I'm going to repeat.
Yeah.
I knew Frank and you had impressions that I was gonna do on the stage because I couldn't take them out.
Sure.
They were part of what I was gonna do.
I couldn't do Jimmy Fallon because they told me that Lauren loves Jimmy Fallon, so I couldn't do it. And it was such a good bit.
Oh, that you couldn't do it because he loves him?
Yeah.
I did too.
I was like, what the fuck is that?
He only cracked a smile twice, and it was when I didn't
even see. I could barely see him.
I did 2 impressions of people that didn't do well on the show.
Oh.
And I did Norm Macdonald.
Yeah.
I said,
oh, it's great to be back here.
Whoa.
Hey, Lauren, are you out there? I need a job. I wish this was a joke, but I desperately need work.
That is good.
I gamble and I don't drive, so that costs a lot. You know, it also costs a lot not being famous. Oh God!
and so Lauren covered his mouth and he laughed at that. And then I did T.J. Miller. Because he was so.
Was he on the show?
No, he had tested.
Oh yeah.
And
look at him now.
At the time, I'd figured out his voice and no one else had.
What was the bit for TJ Miller?
TJ was observing the awkwardness of the situation.
Oh, okay.
So he'd be like,
I can't believe we are here in this hallowed ground where so many drunk cocaine addicts have been before, and I am not on cocaine or drunk at all. None of that is possible.
That's so good. It almost sounds a little Brooks Wheelan-ish too.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, Brooks and I were the ones who were called when he was removed from things.
Yeah.
So, and that's how I got into How to Train Your Dragon. So as they saw my impression of, I loved TJ so much in his.
That is such a good impression, bro.
That when I did, thanks, man. When I did it on First Impressions with Dana Carvey, that's what I did. Him ripping me apart. I was like,
look at this asshole. He kind of looks like Zachary Quinto had a baby with Ross from Friends, and that guy was adopted by John Stamos, and then he dropped out of community college, and now he's here.
That's so good. Wait, so did that show do very well? Did it?
No.
Yeah, it looked pretty bad.
It was to remind everybody that Dana
does impressions.
Here. He's still here and he's still the king. Yeah. And we were just there and honored to be there.
Totally. I mean, it was like you, Melissa Villaseñor, and some good people.
Oh, and everybody who was there was better than anybody I'd ever seen before.
Yeah.
And Brock Baker was on my show, who's got like 1 million followers.
Yeah.
And we just. I was lucky to get my episode. You know, I'm just happy to be out there to get impressions at all.
Yeah. So when you got done with, so what? So
So after you tested, did they tell you to go back to the room and wait?
Yeah.
Okay. Did anybody ever come talk to you?
No.
No one ever came and talked to me.
I think I just left.
I fucking fell asleep.
Did you?
I fell asleep.
You're like, I don't care. I'm going to stay here until they wake me up.
The testing was in the morning, right?
Yeah.
I fell asleep. I woke up at 6 and someone came knocking. They're like, "You're still here?" I was like, yeah. And you said someone.
You almost missed your audition?
No. I auditioned, and they're like, "Go back to the room.
Oh.
Lauren or some of the writers will come talk to you."
They told me to stay in the dressing room.
Yeah, that's where I was. I went back to the dressing room, and I fell asleep in my dressing room.
You know what? I think I did too.
Yeah. I was just so exhausted.
And then I got done. I was
And
like,
I imagine the adrenaline dump you
for
experienced
sure.
right after is
dude, my
insane.
knees were buckling before I went on stage.
Dude,
Yeah.
here's something even worse. I forgot.
You know what? Did you use this term? I've heard this term, the kingmaker. I mean, like, for Lauren, I mean, it's just like you're about to meet with the guy that can potentially change everything.
That's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
I saw
It's huge
there was
stakes.
only one person I saw do their set, and I knew I was in trouble. It was Pete Davidson.
Really?
Because
you saw him do a set?
yeah, everybody else did
Impressions and stuff?
everybody else did sketches and impressions and created all this shit. And Pete went up and he's like, "Fuck this. I don't fucking care about this.
Totally.
I don't fucking this stupid fucking thing. They told us not to swear." He was swearing. So if I was gay, if I was going to go gay, you know who I'd fuck? This guy would fucking find $1 million. I'm like, this is
So that's what it was.
He was doing this, but he was 17.
Yeah.
You know?
Also,
He was 17.
that was Jimmy Fallon's guy.
Yeah.
Jimmy Fallon loved him. Anyways, so we both didn't get it. Fantastic. And that's all right.
Clear.
You know what? I wouldn't be able to get you on my podcast if you did. So, all right, let's do funny, rapid impressions and see if you can do them.
Yeah.
Stewie.
Of course, Stewie Griffin here. Brady Matthews podcast, here we are.
That's great. Okay, and do Family Guy one more time.
Yep, Peter Griffin.
Great.
Yeah, that's right. And there's Joe.
Quag. That's his Cleveland. I'm sorry.
Quagmire.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so good. Can you do Bill Cosby?
I used to be able to. That's brain damage, and my kids are loaded with it.
What about Shaq?
Shrek?
Shaq.
Shaq?
Shaq or Shrek?
So
They're both the same guy, aren't they?
yeah.
Basically.
So
One's green.
I like being here. It's great to be here. The Shaq Diesel does his best. Always does his best. Always gonna be here. Shaq Diesel's here.
And Shrek, that's a little bit different, isn't it? Has so many layers, like an onion.
Yeah, of course, there's Donkey. Everybody remembers Donkey. This is Eddie Murphy talking real fast. Listen, I do a whole bunch of other good impressions, okay? If you just let me have a second, I can make you some waffles.
That's good. Can you do Charles Barkley? See, I said you can or you can't.
Hey, Cliff, hold on a sec. That's terrible.
That was terrible.
That's terrible. Everything you're doing is terrible.
Look at Kenny's head.
I look at Kenny's head. It's like a big grapefruit. It sounded like grapefruit.
Look at my head, then look at Kenny's head, and look at Shaggy. Shaggy falling down all the time. John Travolta?
I can only do like the early John Travolta.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like, oh my God.
Oh my God, it's so stupid, right?
It's so stupid.
What about Liam Hemsworth?
Oh my God, Liam. Oh, Thor.
Yeah.
Right?
I thought you could do that. That's
Oh, I'm Thor. Go to Thunder. But also, I'm rather fat right now, and I could go for a beer and maybe a blowjob. That'd be great.
That's fantastic. Jackie Chan. No, I'm joking. All right.
I'm not Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
Do it.
I can't even think of like this.
Great. Now everyone's going to say I'm racist. Okay.
Just a noise.
One more Sebastian, please.
So I finally found a pair in housewares. I get it home. It's a set of forks.
Set of dinner forks. Justin Rupple, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for doing this. I really appreciate it. Alex, thank you for filling in for Paul.
Thank you.
Best artist, best comedian.
Thank you.
I've worked with in years. I love this man very much.
I love you too. Where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at The Rupple or Instagram at The Rupple or my website, justinrupple.com.
And where are you going to be this weekend? Because I'm putting this out today.
Tomorrow I'm going to be at Bossier Parish College in Louisiana.
Oh, no.
And then I'm joining joining Holland America tour to do 2 weeks in the Caribbean for Christmas.
That sounds awful.
Yeah, it's just.
Is the old lady coming with you?
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, she better be coming with you. It's the fucking Caribbean.
Look, man, I've got to be away too much.
She's not trying to go to Bossier College with you?
No, she's not going to. I said, is it Bossier or the Caribbean?
She's like, I'll take the Caribbean. Yes, son of a bitch.
Idiot.
Thank you for doing this. I appreciate it, Alex. Again, thank you very much.
Alex, much appreciated.
Please subscribe, share, and listen. Check us out on comedypopup.la.com and tell your friends about My First with Brady Matthews. I bring on people that do impressions, and we talk comedy. So tell your friends, and remember, I love you. Happy holidays, and drink and drive safe.